Welcome back to Sgcarmart Reviews. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Mercedes-Benz E300, but not just any E-Class, it is the Mercedes-Benz E300e. Now what does that E stand for? First E stands for Executive, which means it's class above the C-Class, one class below the S-Class. The second E stands for Plug-in Hybrid. So there you go, E equals Plug-in Hybrid. Now let's find out more about this car. Now, if you're thinking about buying a car like this Mercedes-Benz E300e and trading in your current car, try selling with Quotz instead. Quotz uses its network of dealers to get you the best price possible. In fact, they're so confident on getting you the best price that if you sell your car for a higher price, they'll give you $100. But don't just take our word for it. Look at the hundreds of raving reviews on their service. To find out more, visit quotz.com.sg. That's quotz.com.sg. Now let's get back to this Mercedes. The Mercedes-Benz E300e is priced at $359,000. The 2-litre 4-cylinder turbocharged engine produces 315 brake horsepower and 700 Nm of torque. The 9G-tronic transmission brings the car from 0 to 100 km per hour in 5.8 seconds. For more details on the Mercedes-Benz E300e or any other car, head on to sgcarmart.com to help you make the smart choice on your next car. Now, starting off by the front, you get this very quintessential Mercedes-Benz look. It's very executive, fitting of the E-Class. You get 2 power domes up here from the top to signify its power, 315 brake horsepower under the hood, but we'll get more on that later. This grille is 2 horizontal chrome strips with its 3-pointed star in the middle. It's kind of from the midlife facelift, and also these little plastic black slats here. But I think it would look better without the plastic black slats. But that's just me. You also get your sonar points up front and this honeycomb grille that's not really a functional van. Full LED headlights of course, and DRL. Now let's check out the side. Over by the side you get 19-inch rims in this Avantgarde trim, which is the only trim that the E300e comes in. Other than that, it's a very inoffensive side. The curves look really fitting of an E-Class. Now onto the rear. Now open up the boot. Open up the boot, you get some 370 litres worth of boot space. It's rather dismal compared to the E200's 540 litres, isn't it? But that is because the space is being taken up by the hybrid battery, as you can see here. So there is your boot lip and then an even larger lip inside the boot space. So lengthwise, let's find out if it passes the anti-trolley length test. Not at this level for sure, but if you go higher, it can actually, with a little bit of a wiggle, fit the anti-trolley length test. So I guess it's a good job for 370 litres, isn't it? So close the boot. I should have closed it with the stuff inside. Ta-da! The stuff is gone. But you get at the rear 2 functional vents as well as your charging port, which is helpful if you like to park with your rear in as opposed to head in. So this is for your plug-in hybrid system. Now let's check out the rear seats. Over by the rear of the E300e is a very usable space. I'm 1.75 meters tall. This is adjusted for my comfortable driving position. So check out my head space and leg space and knee space. It's just plenty of room. And you also get lots of hooks here, one hook here, and an inbuilt sunshade. So very useful to keep the heat out as well as keep your privacy in. Now by the middle, you get a pull-out armrest with hideaway cup holders. And you also get 12-volt charging, but no USB charging, and 2 rear aircon vents, so very useful, especially in this heat. Well, the space at the sides are very large. In the middle though, because it is a rear-wheel drive, transmission tunnel is rather high, but I would say that's plenty of space because my feet are rather large and they can still fit, albeit at a squeeze, but you're gonna kind of eat into the space of the people at the sides. Lastly, you also get ISOFIX points, so it's useful if you're carrying your kids around. Now let's check out the front. Now inside the cockpit, it is a very familiar Mercedes-Benz space and it is finished pretty nicely, so it's very fitting of the E-Class executive vibe. Starting with the side, you get soft closing doors, so even if you don't close it fully, the car will do it for you. Up front, you get dual 10.25-inch MBUX displays, very sharp, so whether it's for your infotainment or your instrument cluster, everything looks really sharp, really high def, really good. Over by the center, you get this black ash wood paneling that covers your aircon. Down by the center, very typical Mercedes-Benz full gloss black. So all your aircon controls, telephone, navigation, everything to do with the infotainment system. And you also get this hideaway place, which stores your wireless charging as well as a USB-C charging and a further 12 volt with 2 cup holders. And you also get touchscreen for your MMI system. So if you don't feel like filling your screen with fingerprints, you can use your touchscreen. And drive mode selector here, parking assistance, as well as rear sunshade activator. Activator, electronic controls. Activator sounds cooler. Well, you also get this cubby space in the middle with 2 further USB-C ports. So although in the rear there's only a 12 volt, at least probably you can charge from here. Otherwise, it still feels really spacious, even though you're kind of hugged by this large center thing and the seat bolsters. At the side, you still have a lot of space and it's a very open kind of feel. And I like that at the side, your door bin is actually large enough to hold a tumbler. But does this drive as well as it looks? One way to find out. Now, driving the Mercedes-Benz E300e, what does that feel like? It has a petrol engine and electric motor. The petrol engine pumps out some 208 brake horsepower, 2-litre turbocharged, and with its electric motor, somewhere around 100 brake horsepower. Together, combined, 315 brake horsepower. Now, that's not sloppy at all. It does 0 to 100 somewhere in 4 seconds, 5 seconds. The number will be right here. But it isn't sloppy, and with its 315 brake horsepower, electric assistance, it gets some 700 freaking Newton meters of torque. So when you do put it into dynamic or individual mode, you get that insane, it's like slapping you at the back of your head. So right now we're going into, I was driving on electric mode just now. It gave me some, on a full charge, it would be somewhere between 40 to 50 km, I believe, seeing from the dash. But I like that versatility as well, because you get it full electric mode, so when you floor the pedal, you mash it, your RPM still stays at 0 because it's purely using its electric vehicle system. And right now, if I do switch into individual mode, I go, the petrol engine kicks in and instantly a lot more power, so you can have a little bit of fun on the road. And it is a rather heavy vehicle because of an E-Class by itself would be rather heavy, and this has the added engine and battery of the plug-in hybrid. So while on paper it is really quick, it doesn't really feel that fast, but I think that's also kind of the appeal of an E-Class. You want it to be really powerful, really fast, but yet the passengers behind the driver, it is totally perfectly comfortable. And that's another thing, its comfort is as well as top-notch. It's an E-Class with a little bit more weight. So the suspension, while it goes around the corner, it's a little bit heavy, it bounces a little bit, but you can feel that extra added weight of the hybrid system. It's not horrible, but you do, there's that weight that kind of keeps, that's inside your mind all the time. One thing that I kind of have to detract from the appeal of this E-Class is it is rather noisy, surprisingly. There you go, it's a motorcycle. I'm hearing the road a little bit. I think it would be, a lot more palatable if it was quieter for an E-Class, especially the noise rather protrudes into the engine. And then there's also this 3/4 spoke steering wheel. It's the plastic finish is nice. It's touchscreen. It feels like state of the art, right? Like it's 2022. You want that future technology. But personally, I would prefer if they have your regular buttons, because this is a steering wheel. You want to put your hands all over it, and it's just kind of. I prefer if I could lay my hands all over the steering wheel without going into, changing my settings accidentally. But that's just me. Otherwise, it is a rather nicely designed steering wheel. A little bit of a AMG feel with this large thing right here. And the leather feels really nice to hold. It's a good size and it's electrically adjusted, so very comfortable. So this E300e plug-in hybrid uses a 2-litre turbocharged engine and electric motor to drive the rear wheels through a 9G-tronic transmission, and it is buttery smooth. It just brings you through wafting. You barely feel a thing within the gear shifts. It's so smooth. It doesn't come up at all. It doesn't jerk. I have kind of seen online that if you're running off when the EV starts to power down and then you're running on the petrol engine alone, there's a little bit of a jerkiness, but I can't say that I've felt this while driving this so far. So in terms of safety systems, you get your blind spot monitor, front collision avoidance. It goes off if you're, sensing that you're gonna crash into it. Cruise control, now let's try it. I can set it right now. We're on the highway for 90 and we'll see if we'll crash into the car in front of us. I hope not. And there we go. And yeah, it's not stopping, so I don't believe that's active cruise control. So it would be nice to have. Another thing that there's also I'm surprised that it doesn't come with a heads-up display. It would be nice to have, so you can focus fully on the road without having to look down. Although looking down onto the MBUX system, it's pretty pleasing to look at too. So I guess it's not too bad of an issue. So the Mercedes-Benz E300e plug-in hybrid, is it will buy, won't buy, or go try? This is gonna have to be a go try. Why? Because, bear with me, this is gonna be a long segment, but if you're looking at competitors in the market, if I want a full EV experience, I really want efficiency, and I don't want to sacrifice on the luxury features, the really nice cabin feeling, I would go for the Polestar 2 long-range dual motor, and that's cheaper. If I want a hybrid experience, for a plug-in hybrid that's not really plug-in hybrid, there's not really a competitor, I would look at the BMW 3 Series plug-in hybrid, but that would be a segment down. And if I want a luxury sedan of this segment that's at least a hybrid, I would look at the Lexus ES250 hybrid. So this goes up against some tough competitors. It's a very hard, because it's not exactly apples to apples, it's more apples to orange comparisons, because there isn't really a plug-in hybrid of this segment. But let me tell you the biggest competitor to this E-Class. It's actually the petrol E200. And why would a E200 go up against an E300? That's crazy, because this E300e is actually cheaper than Cycle & Carriage's own E200 petrol ICE variant. And when it's put into that perspective, why would you not get this E300? Because you're getting a bigger trim and you're getting 315 brake horsepower from this E300 as opposed to something in the 200 range for the E200, and you're getting that hybrid fuel efficiency. So this is going to give you something between 40 and 50 kilometers per liter. That's pretty insane when you think about, right? And you don't have the drawbacks of a full EV where, you can just run it on EV or you can just run it on petrol. If you're out of juice, you don't want to plug in anytime soon, you can just top up at a petrol station and they'll give you plenty of range. I believe some 600-700 by itself. So in that sense, this E300e is actually a very, very compelling contender, albeit up against its own siblings inside the Mercedes-Benz range. So that's why this car is a go try. Now this has been our review of the Mercedes-Benz E300e plug-in hybrid. Now what do you think? Do you agree with us? Do you disagree with us? Let us know down in the comments below, as well as any other car that you'd like to see us try out. Let us know down in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe to us and hit that bell notification button so you don't miss any of our future uploads. And also follow us on TikTok. We are at Sgcarmart to see the latest on what we get up to. That's all for this review. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye. Trucks. No, don't turn in. Please don't turn in. In the middle, you get some black wood according to Mercedes-Benz, and it does look pretty black, so I think it's fitting of black. Black. One way to find out. There's no gear shift. Well, How's your light? Because the sun changed. MBUX system. This is, do you know how big it is?